What's up, you guys? Today we're going to talk about college football, week one. We're going to talk about the best team, the worst team, best player, most disappointing player, most surprising player, best game, most surprisingly bad game, and team with the brightest future. I'm also going to recap the games that I watched, or like the parts of the games that I watched. So let's do that real quick. Let's start out with that. So the games that I watched uh, the first games I watched were Florida, Utah. I watched the first half of that one. It was Utah all the way, pretty much. I watched the first half of Virginia, Tennessee. It was close in the first half. It got away from them in like the third quarter. I'd say Virginia's defense looked solid. I think it just got tired at one point, and that's kind of how the butt whooping happened. I watched the entire Colorado TCU game. That was an amazing game from start to finish. I mean, the best game of the weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. The best game of the weekend, and it's obvious. I mean, the only close game of the weekend, pretty much. So yeah, and then I watched a tiny bit of the Washington Boise State game. Again, that one was close until like I'd say the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. It kind of got away from them, but I mean it was a somewhat entertaining game. Boise State looked decent. Washington looked amazing though. Penix Jr. looks phenomenal. I will say that he looks absolutely amazing. And then of course I watched the South Carolina game. That one was just a strange one. First half looked like it could be a good one, and then the second half just went from bad to worse. Basically, it was like, oh yeah, they have a chance, and then it went from like, okay, they no longer have a chance fairly quickly. Actually, I wouldn't even say that. Like, I'd say it looked like that until I'd say the end of the third quarter. End of the third quarter, I was like, okay, this game might be over. In the fourth quarter, they kind of kept marching back, and then they would turn the ball over, or something would happen where it's like, okay, they were in field goal range, and they got sacked 3 times, now they're out of field goal range type of scenario. And then I watched the LSU Florida State game. That one's gonna be fun. Where's my mouse at? That one was a fun one. Scoreboard, it looks worse than it was. It was close until the fourth quarter, but yeah, it was crazy. I'll say that. Florida State definitely showed the fact that they are that team. I think they're going to beat the crap out of whoever they play next. Let's see who they play next. Florida State plays, Southern Miss. Yeah, they're going to have a pretty good season, I feel like. But anyways, and I want to, before we go on to my best worst scenario, I want to talk about the Clemson-Duke matchup tonight. Of course, this will be Cade Klubnik's first start for week one of the season. Devin Leary, the NC State transfer, will also be playing. I think this is going to be a tail whooping. But if it's not, I think the rankings could change drastically this Tuesday whenever they come out with the rankings. I think it would not shock me at all if North Carolina shoots up from like 21 to 19. Of course, I believe TCU is going to fall out the rankings, and I think that LSU is going to slide probably 10 spots or so. So if you're around like the 10, if you're around like 5 to 10 range, like the 5 to 15 range, I think you're going to scoot up a couple spots. If you're around the 20 to, if you're around like the 18 to 25 spot, you'll probably scoot up a couple. And then it would not shock me at all if Colorado comes into the rankings. But if Clemson loses, then it could get even more chaotic. But every other game was kind of a blowout. Every game was a blowout, basically, except for the TCU or Colorado game. Anyways, let's talk about my best and worst awards. The best team this weekend was definitely Florida State. I thought about going with Colorado, but again, Colorado just they played great, but I think FSU beating the crap out of a team like LSU just shows how phenomenal that team is, how phenomenally coached they are. I forgot to put. I'm gonna go ahead and put in a best play. The best play was probably. There's two decisions here. Either that's gonna be like a vote in the comments. What do you think the best play of the week was? Mine's gonna be between the onside kick to start the second half for South Carolina against North Carolina. That was a very smart play. And the game-winning touchdown for Colorado. Those are two game winner. Those are my two best decisions right there. The worst team is gonna be TCU. I thought about putting South Carolina in this spot, but TCU was expected to win by 3 touchdowns, and they lost. And to me it looked like Colorado was gonna win that game from start to finish. In the fourth quarter, it got a little bit iffy, but the whole game it was like, okay, ball game type scenario. It was like, oh my goodness type of thing. There was never any doubt in my mind of who was going to win that game. Like, yeah, I'm very, or not. There was doubt, but like at most of the game, it felt like Colorado was going to take that one. Best player. This is going to be a joint award. Shadir Sanders and Travis Hunter, just both playing. Travis Hunter. That's not it. Is that his name? Yep, Travis Hunter. I'm thinking of Jordan. When I say Travis Hunter, I think Jordan Travis for some reason. My brain does that a lot. But yeah, just very great game from Travis Hunter, and I mean he played phenomenally. Had a touchdown, had a pick. He's going to be amazing. He's freaking built different. Most disappointing player. This is another joint award. It goes to South Carolina's offensive line. The offensive line genuinely was the only reason South Carolina was not kept in a higher regard. Also, want to say best player could have been North Carolina's defensive line, because I think that had it wasn't like, oh, North Carolina's defensive line is garbage. I think any offensive line is going to get 9 sacks is good, basically, no matter how bad your defensive or offensive line is. But yeah, and then most surprising player, I'm going to say I left this up again between Keon Coleman, FSU wide receiver who had 3 touchdowns, or British Brooks, North Carolina running back who was coming back from injury. I wasn't expecting him to be that good because, coming back from injury, he's getting up there in age type stuff. Like, you don't hear that often. He's getting up there in age, but like when you're that old, I mean, running backs at that age start to kind of. I mean, how old is British Brooks? I'm curious. How old is he? I mean, he's got to be up there. How old is he? That's what I want to know. He's very good. But, I mean, I did not expect him to be as good. Let me just put it that way. He is... It's not telling me his age. Good gracious. But, I mean, he's just he's 24. He's 24 years old. So, there you go. 24 years old. That's kind of what surprised me a lot because, I mean, again, you've got 25-year-old running backs retiring right now. So, that's one thing that's kind of like, oh, that's kind of bad. But, yeah, and then you've got the best game by far was TCU Colorado. The only game that was within 1 score, and it was just a great game. Most surprisingly bad game. Like I wasn't going to say the worst game because every game was pretty bad this weekend because you put a bunch of nobodies against the best SEC schools. But yeah, FSU, LSU, that was a very bad one. And then North Carolina, South Carolina, unless you're a North Carolina fan, that was a pretty bad one. But you can have a North Carolina fan, you can see behind me. So I'm very happy about that. And yeah, it was a very fun one. And I have last one, team with the brightest future. And I said Colorado. You've got Deion Sanders, you've got Travis Hunter, you've got Shadir Sanders. All those guys who are absolutely amazing. Very excited to see how this season goes. And yeah, if you're excited for this season as much as I am, then let's talk about it. But first, I want to quickly preview the the Kansas City Chiefs versus Lions matchup. Again, sadly, I will not be able to stream this one due to my other commitments that I have going on with my high school football team. But yeah, just very excited to see how this new offense that they build around Mahomes plays. I'm very excited to see if the Lions' defense has improved any. I still think the Chiefs are going to win it. I think it's going to be a probably around a two-score game, but I'm very excited to see how it goes. Uh, if you're just as excited for this upcoming NFL, college football, all of this fun stuff, make sure to leave a comment down below. It's going to be a fun year. I hope to see y'all in the streams. We had a fun stream last night of an absolute demolishing by Florida State, and I'll see you guys next time in the streams. We will be streaming. I don't know when I'll be streaming. Oh, Sunday. Sunday we will be streaming one of the 1 p.m. matchups, probably the Steelers game, Steelers 49ers. But if not, I'll figure out something to do. I will be streaming Sunday, however. I might even stream Thursday, but it'll be like second half of the game. But yeah, hope to see y'all in the next stream that I do, and I'll see you later. Peace out.